What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Key Microwave Multiverse, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look, or I guess not, taking a look at some Ben 10 figures actually, and this is actually going to be a whole series on the channel, a bunch of different parts, so definitely stay tuned for all the new parts, but this is going to be part 1, and today we're going to be taking a look at, well, all the figures are going to be based off the Reboot series on Ben 10 they made. This series, just for your information. And I grew up on Ben 10. I love Ben 10. So when I found out they're making a new reboot, I was, kind of excited, And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, why did they make it look like this? I was like, it'll grow on me. I'll watch it. So I did. Ended up I was like, oh, this is okay. But then I kept watching it, and I did really enjoy it. And so then, once I finished watching it, I got a bunch of figures about it. Like, all the figures from the show. And those are what started my love of action figures. Figures I collect now are because of these guys, these little guys. So, in today's first part, we're going to be taking a look at 10 Ben 10 action figures. So, this one is going to be a longer video, so definitely get your snacks, and let's first start off with the man himself, Ben 10. Now, they did very heavily redesign Ben. They changed his whole new shirt to where it's got that little green and then the 10 logo. Kind of basic, though, all the way around. Then, they kind of kept the pants the same. It's just, they don't go all the way down. Then he's got normal shoes. Then made him way more cartoony than in the classic cartoon. But, they did, in the first season at least, keep the Omnitrix very similar, as you can see there. It looks very nice, in my opinion. Now, this figure actually wasn't my first figure. I got this actually a while after I started collecting the Ben 10s, because it's very rare to find in stores, because it was Ben. Everyone wants a Ben that was watching the show at the time. So yeah, very nice Ben figure, just classic. And it came with actually gray matter, which kind of sucks that he's not articulated or anything, but he's pretty nicely sculpted. Omnitrix on the back, green jumpsuit, and very nice orange eyes. But yeah, as for articulation, these things can be somewhat articulated. Like Ben isn't super articulated, but yeah, he isn't super articulated. But he's got toe articulation. I thought he did. He might. No, he doesn't. I was lying. But yeah, they're not super articulated, but or some of them can be very articulated, but Ben isn't super. But next up, I say we start with, usually everyone's favorite, or I don't know why does it start with, we started with Ben. But next up is going to be forearms. Now, this was one of my very first ones, Everyone needs a forearms, especially me. He was definitely one of my favorites growing up. Who can't love forearms? He's just a giant dude with forearms. And I think they did capture forearms very well with this figure. Forearms. They even kept the classic Ben shirt in the design, which is very nice. And then, very nice head sculpt. It is cartoony, but still, it's got the 4 eyes painted green, and then the white teeth. Very nice. And then the arms. We got these 2 bigger arms at the top, and then these 2 smaller arms towards the bottom. All of them, or all 4 of them, are very articulated. We got pretty much all the articulation you can need, besides bicep swivel. But yeah, and then the legs are articulated, go out to there, down. And I think he came with chains, I believe. Again, I've had these figures for years. These are my nostalgia figures, really old. But I think he came with a chain, 2 pieces of a chain that you could break off. But next up is going to be Stinkfly. Now, a lot of people were upset that they changed Stinkfly's design, and I do prefer the classic design. But, I mean, this is also pretty awesome Stinkfly design, in my opinion. Like, what I wanted them to do was keep the design and make a whole different alien, like Shock Rock. Like, they made a bunch of different aliens, so why not make another one with this and keep the old Stinkfly design? But this was actually the last one I got. I got this like last year, actually. Because I remember growing up, for some reason, I thought this was like the rarest one. Never found it in any stores. And online, I always thought it was like hundreds of dollars. But like, I checked earlier today, and nope, this was like $14. Which I distinctly remember that I would get a Benton figure like every week, because they were always only like $10. And this is definitely worth $10. I mean, this one does have like a very nice amount of articulation out of the whole group. I broke. Okay. But yeah, he does have a very nice range of articulation. Does look very, very nice. Next up is going to be everyone's favorite Speedy Devil. No, not the... I'm blanking. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on, was it Fast Tracker? No, I don't remember, but in, like, Alien Force or Ultimate Alien, there was another fast alien Ben had, and I do not remember his name, but he was like, he looked like that. He looked like my Avatar figure back there. But it's, of course, Accelerate. Now, this was, again, one of my first figures, and it is, sculpted after the show, and I think it looks very nice. I do think the head is too big, which is what it was like in the show, so that's just an overall complaint with the character design. But I do think the head is a little too big, and the eyes. I also was kind of really bummed out that in the show, his visor never goes down. It did, it did towards the end seasons where they got like upgrade suits, but we're not going to talk about those yet. Just classic Accelerate, goodness. He does have trouble standing, though. Yeah. He does have a difficult time, in my experience, standing, at least. Like, you always had to, like, arrange the tail and get the legs perfect in position, and then he would stand, which, kind of sucked, because I was just a kid, and I would just be like, and he would do that, but he does fly, like in Accelerate should. Like, he runs fastly. Next up, I say we do, let's do Cannonball, or Cannonbolt. I mean, that confused me so much growing up. Like, in some instances, they called him Cannonball, some Cannonbolt. It was crazy, but this figure, again, very old. Like, paint chipping right there, paint chipping at the top. But I remember I do not be super in love with this. That's not a correct sentence. I remember I didn't love this because, one, I couldn't roll it into a ball. Like, I could do like this, and this was about it, and then throw him at people. But besides that, there was really no turning him into a ball. And he wasn't, or I guess I didn't really care about articulation that much growing up, but he wasn't that posable, which sucked. So, yeah, because arms are basically the only posable parts. He's got no neck or head movement, and his legs just go up and down like that. But, again, one of the classics, so I had to get him. And I'm glad I did. And the next up is going to be Upgrade. Now, this Upgrade, I remember... Upgrade is one of my favorite aliens, bro. I mean, so underused. Like, all of his designs, I think, are, like, really, really good. This one including. I mean, I don't love it as much as the other ones, but I think it's nice. And I really like this figure. Oh. I got well, too excited for that one, but I do really like this figure. But I do believe that like not a lot of articulation really hinders it. Like he kind of does share the same like body shape as Stinkfly. He's just a little bulkier. And like Stinkfly's got like knee joints and arms can go out. Upgrade. Can't do that. I keep hitting the table by accident. That's how upset I am. He doesn't have that much articulation. His head moves like back to back. All the way around. Elbow doesn't even go to 90. And then feet out to there. That's it. Which again, wasn't a huge problem growing up, because I wasn't in it for the articulation back then. I was in it for, fun. And I still am, kind of. I do still collect things that aren't super articulate. That blueberry right there. Maybe I'll put a card up there for that video if I learn how to do that. But I do remember that upgrade came with this little jet dude, which it's not Jet. Wait, is that what they called him? Oh my god, it's not Jet from Omniverse. It's just a random jet drone that I used to do this. I used to have him like surf on it, like that exact thing would happen because I don't think that's what it is intended for. Okay, but next up is going to be one of the classics, Heat Blast. Okay, now when I was collecting these, I missed out on the Heat Blast. I didn't get him. I didn't get the classic Heat Blast. But for my birthday, my mom got me this Heat Blast, which isn't the classic because it's got this little jetpack what's it called? Face? No. What's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but with this, and it came with this, which is a Heat Blast themed jet that you could stick them in, and that was the whole reason to get the 2-pack thing. This, I was so thrilled, bro, when I got this. I loved it, and I still do. I think it's awesome, and I'm so glad I got it. And Heat Blast is one of the more articulated of the group. He's got some side to side, he's got some all the way around, elbow about 90, his hands, the only ones that go up and down. Then he's got legs that go out, and then knee joint, which is very articulated, especially compared to Upgrade, which, Upgrade has terrible articulation. But next up, we're going to do, let's do Shock Rock. Shock Rock was one of the first new characters introduced. I think it might have been the first. But I love Shock Rock, man. I loved him, ever since I first saw him. And, that's why I kept watching the show. That was one of the reasons I kept watching the show. I'm so glad I did keep watching the show. Because, look at this thing. It's awesome. I always loved the whole thing about Shock Rock, where he could, transform other aliens into Shock Rock versions of themselves, which different video, but that's not out yet, but I'm gonna be working on that next. But I always loved Shock Rock, and I love this figure. It's very nice. I also love the grass effect. It's textured, very nice. It takes away from the cartoony effect, but in a very nice way, balances it out. And then articulation-wise, he's got some articulation, but, really all you need, you can get him in a decent amount of cool poses. But, yeah, I don't think he came with anything. I don't think he came with any accessories or anything. But, yeah, so, that's, wait, how many have we done? Hold up, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Okay, we've done 8, so we have room for 2 more in this video. With starting off, we're gonna do a villain. Yeah, we're actually gonna be doing a villain with Kevin 11. Not the actual Kevin 11 figure, even though I have that figure. I lost it, so I'm gonna try to find it, and we'll try to review him in another one. But we're actually gonna be talking about some of Kevin's aliens, which this is... I'm blanking. I don't remember. Oh my god. I honestly don't remember what his name is. Okay, well this is Fiery Dude. That's not correct. But this is Kevin 11's Anti-Trix version of Heat Blast. Which I'll get Heat Blast. Which is way more menacing than Heat Blast. He's way bigger. He's got a sort of mohawk out of fire. I guess they both have a skull head. But still. He's wearing fingerless gloves. That's how you know he's gonna kill you. And he's awesome. But yeah, we got the Anti-Trix logo right there. And then, very nice head sculpt. And then, moving down, we got, sort of the same thing Heat Blast does, just in green. And this figure, it's a very nice figure. I like this figure. And this figure does come with blast effects that you can stick on his hands, which I love that. I loved that so much growing up. The fire, with Heat Blast, he didn't come with any fire effects. So I was just out here pretending, fire. But with him, I could actually, have him throwing fire or shooting fire. I really love that part. Okay, but for the very last figure we're going to be reviewing today, it's going to be one I searched so long for, and that is the biggest bad of Bin 10, which is, of course, Eon. I'm just kidding. It's Vilgax. Vilgax I remember from the show distinctly because of the Gax episode, which, if you haven't seen, it's where Ben gets Vilgax as an alien, which I loved that episode. I thought it was really, really cool. I loved Gax as one of Ben's aliens, but, Vilgax are just so cool, and this figure is so cool, because, look at that. Look at that. That's terrifying. He is gonna mess you up, bro. Oh, and then on the back, we have this little thing, sword sheath, that you can stick his sword into the sheath. I said that right. Don't judge me. But yeah, I remember I loved this figure, and it took me a really long time to find it. But definitely worth it. And then, just look at this dude. Look at the muscles on this dude. Look how ripped he is. Let me get forearms. This dude is incredibly ripped. He's also got fingers with gloves. So, yeah, he's definitely gonna kill you. He's gonna enjoy doing it, too. He's probably not even gonna know he killed you, actually. Probably just gonna be a tiny stepping stone to his world victory. But, yeah, this figure has a decent amount of articulation. Got some all the way around. Out, stop because of the giant shoulder pad. Elbows, not about 90. Hand, swivel. Legs out to there. Back to there. Very nice. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. And we did a lot for today. And again, this is gonna be a series on the channel. So this was just part 1. We did 10 sort of classic figures, I guess. They're not, like a bunch of the figures in the later seasons. But yeah, I got a bunch of other figures. A bunch that we will be reviewing in the next video. So definitely stay tuned for that one. And at the time I should be posting this, it's the Super Bowl. So, enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. So, that's it for today's video. See you in the next one. Peace out.